Backstage at the Teragram Ballroom in Los Angeles, Shame frontman Charlie Steen, still slicked with sweat after the South London 5-pieces Thrillingly Visceral set, is reeling off stories about how strange their first ever cross-country tour across America has been. They're a band who collect outlandish tales like other bands collect hangovers and STDs. "We were in Louisville, Kentucky," he tells me. "Me and Eddie, our guitarist, went to the liquor store to get cigarettes and there was a guy stood next to us who was completely blue. We got carded, and the blue guy went, 'Are you boys German or something?' We said no, we're British. Then he said, 'Oh, we've got a lot of them stationed here.' He started going on about how North Carolina made the wrong decision. We didn't know what he was talking about." Shame on the road. See, Holly Whitaker. It turns out they'd had an encounter with one of the Blue Fugates of Kentucky, an Appalachian mountain family who all carry the rare skin condition methemoglobinemia, which turns their skin a shade of blue. The band we were on tour with, Proto-Martyr, said they look out for them every time they're in Kentucky. "We just stumbled upon him in the liquor store," says Steen, still sounding as if he hadn't quite believed his own eyes. "It's like seeing a unicorn." Steen takes a pull on a beer while the rest of the band, guitarists Sean Coyle Smith and Eddie Green, bassist Josh Finnerty and drummer Charlie Forbes, prod at the wreckage of a birthday cake on the dressing room table. Fake IDs. Coyle Smith and Finnerty both celebrated their 21st birthdays on stage tonight. Steen, meanwhile, is still only 20. You'd never guess it from his whip-smart, incisive lyrics, but it does at least explain why he's carrying around a fake ID that says his name is Charleston Steen, his address is MI5, his birthday is on Valentine's Day, and that he's a fully qualified lorry driver. More unbelievable than any of that is that it actually works. A couple of weeks later, Shame are back in London rehearsing for their UK tour. That's the official line, anyway. Truth is they've bunked off to the Clarendon Arms in Camberwell for a pint and a smoke. They're a band born and raised in the back rooms of South London pubs, having first got together on borrowed instruments at the Queen's Head in Brixton, South London, during the long summer after they finished their as levels. Shame. See, Holly Whitaker. They took their inspiration from the pub's eccentric cast of regulars, which included Larry Love of Alabama 3, most famous for writing the Sopranos theme tune, and Fat White Family, most famous for their unquenchable enthusiasm for heroin. "We're not that wild as characters," notes Steen of his own band's habits. "No smack or crack is a band rule. Words to live by, I say." "Well, hopefully," says Steen. "We'll see how long that lasts." Still, their time in that bacchanalian Brixton scene did help shape the band's songwriting. Their debut album, Songs of Praise, which was released in January, was written when the band were aged between 17 and 19. Steen says the songs reflect the two sides of their lives. Absurdity. It's a balance between what you're experiencing in your personal life as a teenager, which might be going through a relationship, or someone close to you dying, but then counteracted by the complete absurdity of what we were experiencing at the Queen's Head. All of the characters we met as they'd stroll in and out. It'd be criminal to forget them. The resulting album might have been filed away as simply dark, aggressive post-punk if the hooks weren't so good and if it wasn't all so damn funny. Steen has a great line in scathing put-downs, such as, "I like you better when you're not around," on Tasteless, and "I don't want to be hurt if you're the only one listening," on The Lick. Shame. See, Holly Whitaker. At times his lyrics recall withering Dylan-penned character assassinations like Idiot Wind, so it's no surprise to learn he grew up enamored with the great American narrative songwriters. "Me and Sean have been best mates since we were 8, and he's been playing guitar for as long as I can remember," says Steen. "We'd go round to his and write these songs where I was just ripping off Tom Waits and Bob Dylan, who I was obsessed with at that age. The first vinyl that I bought was 20p from our primary school fete, and it was Tom Waits' Asylum Years." That simple twist of fete may have set Steen on his lyric writing path, but musically the band are more indebted to British bands like The Fall, Gang of Four and the television personalities. It was the latter band's knack for political satire which inspired Visa Vulture, Shame's 2017 track mocking Theresa May and her hardline stance on immigration. Read more at Mark E. Smith, The Last Interview. Ed Sheeran and Jeremy Corbyn are evil twins. Read more at The Falls. Mark E. Smith was a poet of the working class and the weird. Read more at Mark E. Smith 1957 to 2018. The Fall frontman's most cutting quotes. "I wrote those lyrics when I was 17 and she was still Home Secretary," remembers Steen. "It's the only political song we have. Musically it's quite different for us too, sort of a B-Tech Beach Boys." For Shame, being able to speak out about issues like immigration and Brexit is a part of how they define themselves. I believe that everyone's political, it's just whether or not they choose to share their opinions, points out Steen. For us, we never had a moment where we decided on an image or an aesthetic. We're not manufactured. We really are all schoolmates who were born in South London. We really did start the band out of boredom, and we really have played a load of shows. Politics is something you can't avoid in life. Life-affirming, yet while anger and teenage angst may fuel their music, their live shows aren't just joyous, they're downright life-affirming. As I say on stage, when we play it's entertainment, says Steen. We don't tolerate anything like abuse or aggression or discrimination, but also we don't want people to take it too seriously. We just want people to enjoy themselves in the moment. Catch them on this tour, or at a festival this summer, to see what he means. Shame are a band worth shouting about. Until You're Blue in the Face. Shame are on tour until Sunday the 21st of April. Songs of Praise is out now. Read more at Graham Coxon interview. The 1990s were fraught. I didn't enjoy it. Read more at Brett Anderson interview. I'm not one for salacious gossip. Read more at Alexandra Burke interview. I didn't know how to react on TV. I couldn't do anything right. Read more at Kate Nash interview. My record label dumped me by text.